Today I'm going to show you how to use the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, Photoshop. And I'm going to show you how to make lightsabers. Super easy. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dodging Karma Design, where designs become graphic, and I want to thank you for showing up yet again every week as we talk about everything from photography to Photoshop. If you are new to this channel and you like this content, I want you to consider go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified every single time I do an upload. So this is it. This is going to be the end. It's going to be the 9th movie in the original trilogy that started back in the 70s. Yes, the Rise of the Skywalker. Skywalkers? The Rise of Skywalker is coming out December 20th, which, as we know, is just a few days before Christmas. So I am going to go ahead and show you how to get the gift that keeps on giving, and that's to make yourself look badass holding those toy lightsabers. So without any further delay, let's pop into Photoshop. So here's one of my coworkers holding a lightsaber toy, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the effect. First thing we want to do is make a new layer, and then zoom in. I hit Alt and I scroll myself, and then you can hit P for the pen tool and click, and then click here. It's obviously going to be different for whatever picture you're using. Click here and then hold it and drag, and that will start to bend it. And I'm bending it to hit the form of the lightsaber. That's right about there. Then I'm going to hit Alt and I'm going to pull this handle up. And since it's basically a straight shot, oh good, to click off canvas, and then we're going to move over here, and then we're going to go down. Lightsabers are long. Ah, fantastic. And we're just going to connect it to this anchor point right here, and now we have a path all the way around the area of the lightsaber. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our paths channel, and we're going to hit Control and click, and that will turn our path into a selection. We're going to go back to the layers, and we're on layer 1, and what I would like to do here is fill it up with white. So since white is actually our background color, I'm going to hit Control Delete, and that will make it white. Then I'll hit Control D to deselect it. Go down to where you would add a new layer, but hit Control and then click it, and that'll actually make a layer underneath the layer we were using. Then you can hit ALT+BACKSPACE and fill it all up with black. And since we have these two elements on two separate layers, we're just going to head and merge them together by clicking on the top one, hitting CTRL+E, and that will make it all one layer. Now the next step is you just make it a smart object by right-clicking and converting it to a smart object. What a smart object is basically whatever you put inside of it, like in this case the black and white layer, is going to be a non-destructive way of working on that. The smart object is almost like a box that hides it in, and then we can manipulate and throw colors, and then we can throw effects and filters, and then all of those things will be remembered, and you can still manipulate it and still recorrect in case you do too much or too little. It's a non-destructive way of working. It actually also reduces pixelization, so you want to use that in your workflow because you do not want to be destructive. You want to be able to go back and correct little things. This has been my TED Talk. So now that we have that, we will go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and the way I like to start off with, maybe around 10 or 15. In this case, I would literally go 12.5, and that Gaussian Blur is only going to affect this specific layer. Then I'm going to go up here to the blending modes and scroll down to Screen, and that will get rid of all the black that is inside of that smart object. That is why we're still able to see the white from the lightsaber. Now you should name it just LS for lightsaber. Highlight it again, Control-J to duplicate it, and then what you want to do is change the Gaussian blur again. Now this time, jack it up a lot. Jack it up to 40. Let's try 40. In this photo, 40 is good. Then we do it again. We Control-J, and then we hit Gaussian blur, and we're going to jack this up to 100-ish. Now if you look at it, it looks pretty good so far. It really does look good so far. It's a nice soft lightsaber look. So now go to the bottom layer, hit shift, go to the top layer. It'll highlight all three of these layers, Hit CTRL-G to group it. Now the next step is very important. You want to go back up to the group that you have the lightsaber on, and you'll notice that the blend mode says pass through. You don't want that. You want to put that down to screen. Now you're in the home stretch, you're almost done, you're almost a Jedi. You just got to go down to the adjustments layer, click hue and saturation, make sure you clip it here by clicking this little clipping button here, and you'll see the same icon here clipping to this group, and then when you hit colorize, it will colorize the lightsaber. If you can't see it enough, just jack up some of that saturation. Let's go nuts. And now you just select which color you want. Heads up, the one thing you do not want to touch on the hue and saturation slider is going to be this here, the lightness, because this will affect everything. It is basically overall, it'll change it and it will not look good in the least. Just keep this thing at 0. As far as the hue and saturation is concerned, bumping up the saturation super high is completely up to you. It just really all depends on the photo you're working on. Well, I am a lot of things, and one of them is going to be a giver, and I just gave you all this wonderful information, and I hope you can use it and run off and make some awesome lightsabers. But just to make life a little bit easier, because there were a lot of steps, and in the description below I have left a link to my Google Drive, and in that will be the action for this exact lightsaber setup. If you do not know what an action is, there is an ability in Photoshop where you can start doing a sequence of steps, and it will record it. And it will save it, and all you have to do is start setting it up, then you push the magical button and it'll do whatever effect you assigned it. So now here we are again, we have our subject and we have our lightsaber. As you can see, I'm clicking on and off of it. It's just the solid white, there's absolutely nothing else to do. So now I want you to make sure you have that layer highlighted. We're gonna go to actions. Now you go down to DKDLS. You go to DKDLS, and as you highlight that, you'll see that there's a little arrow pointing right, like a play button. And then just click play. And you'll see it stop. The first thing it stops on is going to be your first Gaussian blur. You could leave that at 10, or you can play with it depending on what you think it should be. But remember, the blurs have to get higher and higher. So I'm going to leave this one at around 10-ish, 9.6, whatever. And then the next one is going to say Gaussian blur, and we're going to move that up to, I think I'm going to move it up to 50. Let's move it, make it crazy. And then we got that, and we're going to move the last one. It's going to be another Gaussian blur, which is going to be the third one, and we're going to move that up to, let's move that up to 135. And we're going to hit OK, and it's going to group everything, and it's going to put the hue and saturation layer on top. And all you got to do is click on it, and you're already colorized, you're already jacked up on your saturation. You can basically make whatever lightsaber you want, like that. I will leave directions in the description down below so you know exactly how to put this into Photoshop, and you could use it on any version that you have. I made it myself, and I'm sharing it to the world because I love each and every single one of you, and it's Christmas. I feel like giving. If you download a copy of the lightsaber action, I want you to just give a shout out in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video with all your friends. And it will be amongst other links such as my Facebook group, Twitter, TeePublic, and Etsy. And if you purchase anything from me, the proceeds go directly into making this channel so much better. If you want to get me something for Christmas, all you have to do is like this video, share it with your like-minded friends, anybody who's into photography to Photoshop, or even having a good time and laughing. And on that note, be sure to hit the subscribe button, crotch punch that bell so you can be notified each and every time I have an upload. And remember, whether you choose to be a Jedi or a Sith, be good or get at it. I am Darth Edicus. And now you hit colorize, and it won't work. What the fuck is wrong with this?